Hi, eighth graders. This is Mrs. Martin, and here we are wrapping up the month of February, heading into March, and I've got one last book talk for you before we get there. I wanted to share with you, the fact that this is Black History Month and I Love to Read Month, and of course, we're so excited to see all kinds of faces here back in the building with the hybrid model. There's just a lot to celebrate right now. And I hope that if you haven't yet stopped down to the library to check out a book, that you will do so soon. Today, I wanted to begin by talking about March Madness of books, that if you were here last year at Valley or even the last 2 years, you know that we do this every time March rolls around. We look at the top 16 books that have been checked out and read the most. It has been kind of a weird year, but we're still having lots of students checking out books, and these are the top 16 that have been read over the last year. We want to know, when you put these books up against each other, how will students vote? And you can make some predictions to determine what books are going to move on in the competition. Because of March Madness with basketball, this is a great time to do it. It's a great time to play. It's free, it's fun, and you can win some prizes. So here's how it works, just like last year. You can fill out a blank prediction bracket using the link available. It's going to be on both the library homepage and on Schoology. So you will see it on your class page. That should be coming out available very soon. You can submit your bracket by Monday, March 15th with your predictions on how people are going to vote. Only one prediction entry per person is allowed. Starting Monday, March 15th, the games will begin. Every day you can vote for your favorite books on your Schoology class page. The winners of every match do advance to the next round to play again the next day, and you can vote as many times as you'd like. So if there's a book that you're hoping is going to make it to that number one spot, you're going to want to get on there and vote. Keep on voting and hope that it makes it all the way. Once the winners are decided, we will award the prizes. And then, of course, if you predicted correctly, if your bracket looks the way that it all shakes out, you could win big with those prizes at the end. Good luck to you. If you have questions, please reach out on email or Schoology. And good luck. The first book I'm sharing today comes from the graphic novel section. This one by Tony Medina is called I Am Alfonso Jones. This is about a kid who can't wait to play the role of Hamlet in his school's rendition of Shakespeare's play, but it's going to be a hip-hop version of the play, a very different take on this classic. He is also, really excited to talk to his best friend, Danetta, who he wants to explain to her how his feelings have changed about her, that he no longer just feels friendship toward her, but something more. And he's about to head out and buy his first suit when an off-duty police officer makes a big mistake about Alfonso. I'm going to show you a trailer to tell you a little bit more about this book. The story touches on what a lot of the books in our library touch on as well. Books by Jason Reynolds like Long Way Down, or stories by Jewel Parker Rhodes like Ghost Boys. Alfonso is mistaken for carrying a weapon. It's a clothes hanger, actually, just like you saw in the trailer there. And the off-duty police officer believes that he is carrying a weapon. He shoots Alfonso. Alfonso wakes up in the afterlife and is on a ghost train guided by well-known victims of police shootings. And they are kind of teaching Alfonso throughout this graphic novel what he needs to know about being a part of the spiritual world, what it's like to be mourned for something like this happening. And in the meantime, Alfonso's family and friends are struggling with their grief and seeking justice for this awful thing that happened. This book is in the graphic novel section. It's called I Am Alfonso Jones, and it's by Tony Medina. Missing Abby by Lee Weatherly is in the mystery section. This story is about a girl who bumps into someone that she has not seen for quite some time. Emma and Abby used to be very good friends, and they hung out together all the time, but they had a falling out at one point. They stopped speaking to each other or just, kind of lost touch, and it's been a long, long time since they've talked. They run into each other on a bus one Saturday afternoon, though, and the two of them sit down, they talk to each other for a long time, and when our main character, Emma, returns to school on Monday, she learns that Abby has gone missing. Even more strange, Emma, turns out, was the last person to see Abby. And as the police are trying to learn more and more about where Abby may have gone and what may have caused her disappearance, Emma believes that perhaps some of the things that she and Abby talked about may have some clues as to why Abby left in the first place, where she may have gone, what may have led to her disappearance. If you enjoy a story where you're having to piece together clues, if you like stories that involve the mystery surrounding a disappearance of someone, this would be a great book for you to check out. Missing Abby by Lee Weatherly. On the Fence by Casey West is realistic fiction, and this is just a very lighthearted, easy read. In fact, any of Casey West's stories are perfect to pick up if you're looking for something that is just not heavy. I wanted to throw in a romance because it's February and because we all need some of those stories that we can just escape into. Charlotte is known as Charlie in this book. She's been raised by her single dad and lived with her three brothers. She's kind of what I guess you'd call a tomboy traditionally. She's always been, hanging out with her brothers, hanging out with her brothers' friends. She does more of those things that have been considered to be, at least traditionally speaking, boy activities. She can outrun, outscore, outwit every boy she knows, including her longtime neighbor, Braden, who lives just over the fence. However, when Charlie ends up with a speeding ticket that she has to pay off, she ends up getting a job at a boutique to earn that money, and the boutique is very frou-frou, fancy, lots of makeup and lacy skirts and dresses, and it's about as girly and feminine as possible, and that's just not been Charlie's thing. She doesn't wear dresses and makeup and all that. That's just not her. That's not her. So it's very different. And in order to cope with that and trying to kind of act at the boutique like she's into it, because it's hard to sell that stuff if you don't act like you like it, she starts talking more with Braden, her neighbor, about how stressful that is. And she starts to fall for him. That's the story, On the Fence, Casey West. Again, we have lots of her books in the library. All of them are very lighthearted, fun, and often involve a little love. The Barcode Tattoo by Suzanne Wayne. This one's been popular all through actually 6th, 7th, and 8th grade readers. Science fiction, although I definitely would say it's more of a 7th and 8th grade read in terms of what you can get out of it. In this book, we're set in the year 2025, which is not so far in the future anymore, but everybody in the book at the age of 18 in their government is invited, really pressured, to get a tattoo. It's a barcode, and that tattoo contains all the information about you. It contains all of your records, your social security number, your bank accounts, and everybody gets it because it contains all your info. It makes life easier. It kind of becomes your identity, and it's supposed to be like the best thing ever. Why wouldn't you do it? Well, what if you do say no? What if you don't want to become a code? Kayla, our main character, decides she does not want this barcode, and there's a reason, a couple of reasons. She becomes a complete outcast as a result because she's like the one person speaking up and saying she doesn't want this tattoo. As a result of that, awfully terrible, dangerous things begin to occur. Read this book. It's the first one in a series. You won't be able to put it down. Last but not least, another series, and back to the mystery section, the 39 Clues series. So much fun and a great one to pick up if you love trying to see if you can solve something before the pages of the book tell you the answer. Let's take a look. Rick Riordan is our author here, and if you've read any of his other stuff, you know how much fun he is to read.
A worldwide adventure. A family of rivals. A game of wits. A reward beyond measure. What could it be? Will it be yours? Scholastic presents The 39 Clues.
As you can see, this series involves not only books, but also a game. So something fun to check out if you like to have sort of that interactive nature with a book. Minutes before she died, Grace Cahill changed her will, leaving the people in her family an impossible decision. She basically said, you have a choice. You can either take $1 million or a clue that could then lead to all kinds of riches. And the clues race is on because young Amy and Dan in this series have to decide what's important. Is it going to be hunting the clues, or is it going to be uncovering what really happened to their parents? Lots of layers of mystery, lots of treasure hunting in this series, very quick, suspenseful, adventurous reads, so fun, and with that element of being able to play the game alongside it, can't recommend this one enough. I hope that something in this book talk piqued your interest, and even if not, we have something here in the library for everyone. Lots of nonfiction, lots of graphic novels and comics, magazines, other fiction that we can find you something great to read. So please stop down or use our curbside checkout if you're still learning from home. Send me a message if you need a recommendation. And in the meantime, happy reading.